Well, it's Thursday again, and here we are, Nana and I, and this is Economics Unbound. Welcome to it. Hello, Nana.
Hello, world. Today we discuss how to democratize and decentralize the ownership of wealth and capital. Tons? There's far too much wealth concentration in Sandton, and on that multi-trillion exchange called the Johannesburg Stock Exchange.
Well, indeed it is the case. Economics is a discipline that impacts on absolutely every one of us. But Nana, it is also sadly a subject where few people feel able to have their say, whilst the majority of people want to understand and engage with economic decisions, buy and sell shares and other instruments of wealth creation, and make economic decisions that affect their lives. Many also think that it is a subject that is best left to the experts, which is a pity.
Oh, tons. What a pity that is. Because it can be really fun and creative, and a good idea to help create new wealth. It's mostly sad because low levels of economic participation are dangerous for democracy, especially at a time when all our politicians seem to be talking about is the economy. So tons, we took to the streets of Soweto. How I love Soweto. Its iconic attractions and its merger with all things cool. So we spoke to a few entrepreneurs there, and this is what they had to say. Today I'm in the streets of Soweto speaking to different business owners regarding their knowledge of the Soweto Stock Exchange, whether they know what it is, how to get listed, and what else they could do to be a part of the project. Stay with me as I speak to the business owners. This is Vilagazi Street, rich of entrepreneurs. You can find local cuisines, traditional attire, book helicopter rides, and enjoy the sweet melodies of local music. Earlier today I posed questions to these entrepreneurs regarding the economic growth of their businesses. More specifically, through the stock exchange. Ms. Selina says she doesn't know much about the stock exchange, but does know how a capital injection would be of great help for her and her children's business.
I'd love a capital injection because we just started out. We haven't grown much, we're not quite steady, and we still have startup debts. I'd appreciate it a lot.
Chris, chairman of a telecommunications provider which started humbly in the township but is now operational in the DRC, Botswana, and currently expanding into Zimbabwe, shares his thoughts on how listing would be beneficial to a company, more especially those in the township.
Once you are able to list on a stock exchange, the value of your company automatically just goes up, and your shareholding escalates in value, basically.
Moving deeper into the Soweto streets, I then went to the Soweto Hotel, a 4-star establishment in the heart of Klipspruit. This 4-star hotel is managed by Willie Baloyi, who has been in the hospitality industry for over 2 decades. Though he'd never heard of the Soweto Stock Exchange, he was in full support of it and what it could do for the township.
It's a Soweto Hotel. Any brand that we have, we support. From our side as a hotel, when we sell the hotel, we don't sell only the hotel. We sell any business around Soweto. Because for you to be in business, you need to work with other businesses. Because I won't expect a guest to come and stay in this hotel for 3-4 days. What is it that I'm going to offer if I only sell Soweto Hotel? So I sell Sakumzi, the works, everything that is around Soweto. Yes, definitely.
Although the Soweto Stock Exchange is yet to launch, For Africa Exchange has its offices set up and has listed a number of companies. Noah from For Africa Exchange joins us later in studio. Stick around to hear what they're doing for African businesses. Vuyo Jacobs, SABC, Soweto.
Now, no single definition or approach encompasses the notion of economic democracy, but most proponents claim that modern property relations as they exist externalize costs, lower the general well-being of all of us, and deny the public or the polity a democratic voice in economic policy decisions. To discuss this further, we are joined by the author of a book called Kasinomics, and his name is Gigi Alcock, and Phelisa Nkomo of the ANC, who's also researched the area of township economics. Welcome, my guests, and you're most welcome to the SABC.
Thank you.
What do you think of the notion of economic democracy? If If we as South Africa had an economy that can be said to be democratic, what would its characteristics be? Would it be inclusive? Would it be labor absorptive? Will it be more democratic in the area of decision making? Let's have a chat.
So I think I wrote obviously about Kasinomics, which was the economics of the informal sector, or the Kasi, I guess. And I think a lot of it is about actually bringing informal sectors into a formal economy and making it more inclusive, because we talk about unemployment at a high level, but we ignore the scale and the potential of that informal economy, which is huge. I mean, if you just look at everything from like the Muti traders, Muti, is worth 3 billion rand, employs 200,000 people, let alone, the hawkers, business or hair care or any of these others. So we have this huge economy in the informal sector, in the streets, in the Gasi, wherever it might be, which we need to bring in. They're unable to access things like finance. They're unable to get security of tenure. They have no security of the space that they're trading in, and they're they can't get many of the benefits that a formal business would, which is wrong.
Now, Phelisa, what do you think of what Gigi has just shared with us?
I mean, well, certainly I think with the research that I've done through my thesis, absolutely that's a problem statement. But I think one of the key things that the government has done in the last 5 years is the commitment to the township economy. And part of it is to make it sure that how do we formalize township economy, but as well because part of formalization, you're able to provide proper resources. But at the same time, the issues around access to markets, because the markets exist actually in the township. The difference is that people take a taxi and go and shop somewhere else and then come back. So there's a lot of low-hanging fruit within the township economy. For example, the food economy is a huge economy, in fact, food production. And we know the issues around the concentration of food production, if you start from the primary sector to agro-processing. So in essence, and I think what Gauteng government in particular has really been the lead in ensuring that it actually provides opportunities. I mean, 2 critical policy regimes they've actually introduced in Gauteng.
Now, Phelisa, we've followed this thrust into the township economies by the Gauteng government, taking the lead on behalf of the rest of government. There is a lot of rhetoric and not enough implementation. That's what we are finding as journalists. Are we wrong in seeing it that way?
Well, I mean, you may not be entirely wrong. I mean, the strategy is really 3 years. 2 things, though, I mean, that problem is that the first issue is that initially you'd know that there was no special dispensation for township enterprises. I mean, now Gauteng government has actually passed a law that allows that township, any business opportunity that is below 1 million must be given to a township entrepreneurship. I think for me, already the government is kind of like taking a stand and showing a commitment that in fact is actually the responsibility of the state to contribute in private sector development. I think the second issue where there's a very clarity, it's around how do you township enterprises benefit from the multiplier effects of the public sector spending. So there's a whole process which the provincial treasury has actually set up.
Yes, and we will get to that. How do township businesses benefit from public spending? But I was fascinated with your book, and in your book you say that other South Africans who are not exposed to townships think that these are places of desolation, of abject poverty and of depression. But you have found another side to the township, one that is vibrant, one that is emergent, then one that is survivalist and very, very confident. But amid all of this vibrancy and chaos in the midst of markets in these townships, what is the actual structure that you found of the township economy?
So maybe let me start with, my follow-up book to Kasinomics was called Kasinomic Revolution, because I think there is this huge revolution happening in the informal sector, and it's happening despite government, it's happening despite corporate South Africa, it's happening despite this, and it's not a survivalist economy. These are businesses that are actually very successful. I mean, I wrote about the one lady in downtown Joburg. Her and her husband sell 3,000 Vetkoek Amagwenya every single morning, plus about 500 rands worth worth of other stuff. So they turn over 3,500 rand every single day, 6 days a week, and they make about 50% profit on that.
No, that's what Phelisa was talking about the food economy.
And exactly. I mean, the food economy in South Africa, what I call Gasikos, is worth about 87 billion rand, with about 200,000 people engaged in this economy. So the thing is about that is that this same lady I was talking about in downtown Joburg, the thing about her and her husband is they've been there for 15 years. They have no security. If you ask them what restricts them from investing in their business, they'll say there's no guarantee. And this is the thing we have to change. There's two things that is. The first is, is there a guarantee that that business can continue? This is people living on it. They're employing people. The one lady in Tembisa who's a school mama that I interviewed, she's been there for 26 years. She's put 2 children through university through her little school tuck shop.
Okay, let's hold those two ideas. Do you need to respond to that? Okay.
No, I mean, he's absolutely correct. But here's the issue, though, is that one of the things that we've discovered, we had a program in Gauteng and we went to all the townships, and we discovered that some of the micro businesses in particular are scared of registering themselves because they're scared of tax, right? Because then they're saying, it's like a chicken and egg. So if I register, will I get access to finance, or should I declare what I'm making? And the state says, register yourself. We will know that you are actually exempted to pay tax, but so that we understand the bouquet of support that you actually need to be, you require.
If you two can allow me, I have a little game as usual for us to play. Now you have to take one of these things. There are solutions to things like access to capital, things like tax, and things like the importance of solidarity to small businesses and the importance of trust in the township economy. Can you just take a piece of paper and tell me what you think of the solution, and first read out what the solution is?
Oh my goodness.
What are you laughing at?
Oh, this one, the Chinese way. A special account at the central bank, a special interest rate for small businesses.
Yes, a special interest rate for small businesses. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think the...
Phelisa, we've got high interest rates in this country.
No, there are a number of things that you have to do. I think the starting point is that, which I think South African government has actually implemented, is the tax incentives for SMMEs. And sometimes SMMEs actually don't understand that that's exemption they have.
Those businesses typically fail in the first 5 years, those that don't make it. Do you think that a tax break of 5 years would be good?
No, absolutely. In fact, that's the first issue, said the tax break issue, which actually it's a regime that also exists. I think there's something else here that we also need to look at it, is that, remember, with the micro and small businesses, they don't have opportunities in the value chain. And I just want to make one quick example, right? In South Africa, we manufacture big steel. But what we do is...
This is a topic we will never finish. We have run out of time for this all-important debate. I just want to thank you, Gigi, and you, Phelisa, for coming. Obviously, it's not a debate that we will stop today, and it's a debate that we will have. That was author of Kasinomics, Gigi Alcock, and Phelisa Nkomo of the ANC. Let's take a short break.